Do you just feel like you can't tell if this girl likes you or not? Maybe she's not being overt, or maybe you're just not sure. Try looking at these body signals that can help you get closer to getting answers. Number 23, the head tilt. One of the most initial signs of a woman liking you will be when she tilts her head while you're talking. If she's sitting, she might even lean her head against her hand. If she's standing, she'll simply tilt her head and probably smile. Extra points if you see that she's touching her neck or tossing her hair over her shoulders. It signals that she's interested in what you're saying and making sure you know she's listening, especially if she tilts her head up and down when you're the one talking. Number 22, getting closer. Women more so than men will show their comfort with someone by sitting closer to them. In general, if you don't know each other well or you're basically strangers, she will make sure to maintain her distance. So if you realize she's inching closer to listen while you're talking, or she shifts her whole body to face you or be closer, you know she's comfortable. She might stop short of touching you outright, as many people on both sides would think that's too sudden. Number 21, the warm shoulder. You might get discouraged at first if she ever does turn her back to you, but if she turns to look at you over her shoulder, pay attention to how she does it. Females apparently do this a certain way to show you that they like you. They'll raise the shoulder they're looking over slightly and do a sort of half look back towards you so that you see their nice profile. If you feel like you've seen that look before on television or a model posing like that in a magazine, then that's most likely the look she's aiming to achieve. Number 20, framing her face. Observe the way she's trying to present herself to you. If you two are sitting, she will need to work with what she's got. For example, her face. You will find her framing her face with her hands. And no, we don't mean the way in Vogue like Madonna does it. It's more like she's holding her face between the palm of her hands, looking endearing as you talk. Faces get more appealing when they have something to frame them. Plus, this also lets you pay more attention to the important things, like her eyes and her lips. Number 19, the hair twirl. Here is one of the classics. You see this behavior exaggerated in older teen movies. The smitten teenage girl twirling her hair as she stares or talks to you. Don't brush that movement off to the side. If a girl is doing this in front of you, most likely she's aware of how transparent it looks. So don't ignore it when she grabs a lock of her hair and twirls it around. Try not to beat around the bush either, because this behavior also means you need to speed up the process of chatting her up. Number 18, a nice nostril flare. We know how weird it sounds when someone tells you to pay attention to a woman's nostrils, but just trust us, do it. For those of you that need all the help you can get to figure out if she reciprocates your feelings, the nostrils can be very telling. Most of the time, she won't even notice she's flaring them. When do you ever notice you're flaring yours? If you see this happening, that means there's a subconscious part of her telling you she's attracted to you. Number 17, what her hands touch. Remember to also look at her hands when you're conversing with her. Women might caress their arms or an object in their vicinity a certain way that looks gentle and inviting. In the same fashion, these movements show that she would be comfortable with you touching her too. Her hands rubbing her own arms or her shrugging is her trying to tell you that it's okay to reach a hand out, put an arm around her, or something in that realm without having to say it out loud. Number 16, crossing legs. Body language experts may have told you before that recognizing the way someone crosses their leg towards you should tell you whether or not they like you. People who cross their ankle over their knees do so to assert their dominance, whether they realize it or not. When women cross their legs over and over again and switch legs doing so, it can mean you have her full attention, but also that she might be nervous. But nervousness isn't always a bad thing. It might mean that she's trying to not look lame in front of you. Number 15, all that smiling. The only time a woman that likes you won't be smiling will be when she feels super shy or super nervous. Other than that, yeah, she'll be smiling. Clearly that means she enjoys your company and presence. Of course, people flash big phony smiles all the time. Take your attention away from their mouths briefly and look at her eyes. Are her eyes smiling too? Number 14, lip action. Hold your horses. That doesn't translate to she decided to just kiss you right away. No, lip action can be a lot more subtle. So if you're not savvy to body language and behavior, you might miss this one completely. The girls know that potential romantic interests like lips. Bringing out the lip balm or lipstick and applying it right before you start talking or in the middle of your interaction means she wants you to notice her lips. Number 13, the duck lips. The internet likes to make fun of girls that pose in pictures with duck lips. Understandably so. Yet, people may still do this as an unconscious signal to exhibit their interest. It's more likely that it started out in an unconscious way, since really, who starts off like this with purpose? A pouty lip is the body's way of telling you that she wants to kiss you. Number 12. Laughing versus giggling. Both are good, don't get us wrong. They just signify slightly different things. During a conversation where you're trying to make her laugh and be funny, then of course it's good that she's laughing. You two have the same sense of humor. When it comes to giggling, however, that's her trying to appear more feminine and youthful, a behavior you will see more with younger women. Number 11. Look at the palms. This sounds like an odd one, but bear with us. Upturned palms. Yeah, if you see a girl's palms upturned, it shows a certain amount of openness to your company, as well as her willingness to get to know you. You're probably skeptical about this. Let's ask you this though. Wouldn't you translate seeing someone's clenched fists as their comfort or dislike? So if it's the opposite, it can be the opposite, if that makes any sense. Number 10. The intense look. She shouldn't be looking like she's trying to extract your soul from your body with supernatural powers. However, an intense look to a certain degree is her way of telling you with just a stare that she's down to talk to you and spend time with you. Whether it be holding your gaze or smiling when you meet eyes, that can only be a good thing for your relationship to go further. Number 9. Dilated pupils. We've all been told that dilated pupils mean a person likes you. It sounds creepy at first, thinking of pupils getting bigger while they just look at you. But think of it this way. Pupils in dark grow to let in more light. So the room you and your crush or your date are is in the dark. Their eyes dilating at you is them trying to get more of what they want or need. She cannot control dilating her pupils, so if you see it, know that it wasn't a choice and that she can't help but be excited. Number 8. The implications of an eyebrow raise. Be careful with how you interpret a raised eyebrow. One way could signify to you that something you said was unsavory or offensive. The other way means you said something interesting or endearing. You can tell the difference like this. If she raises an eyebrow and her lips are pursed, either apologize, backpedal, or just give up now. But couple that raised brow with a smile, you said something that made you look not so boring. Number 7. The flirting triangle. It has a name like it sounds like it's going to be a complicated process and you deciphering a girl's actions to figure out if she's flirting with you. But no, this is actually really simple. You will have to put in more work in paying attention to the movement of her eyes. The flirting triangle entails these eye movements. She'll look at you with her right eye, then her left eye, and then finally will stare at your mouth. Catch her doing this more than once, it's safe to say she's flirting. Number 6. The preening process. When we say she's preening herself in front of you at the beginning, however, we're not just talking about this stuff. We just mean she's fixing herself up, reapplying her lipstick or brushing her hair or putting her hair up. For women more nervous than others, she might try to do this on the down low and look in the restaurant mirror instead of her more useful compact mirror. Number 5. Do the shoe dangle. Shoes such as clogs, slippers, flip-flops, and strapless heels make it easier for you to dangle off the edge of your toes. Most of us don't think much of this behavior, but according to experts, this means the girl is super interested and may even mean she's trying to be playful, whether you're meant to see it or not. After all, it's not really suave to look under the table just to see if she's dangling a shoe. If anything, that's pretty weird. Number 4. Radiating confidence. Confidence in anyone, men, women, or more, looks attractive to most people. And just because someone isn't confident doesn't necessarily mean they're not interested. Everyone has different levels of self-esteem. That being said, someone who knows they're confident and wants you to know will let you know. Look at the way she's standing and listen to the volume of her voice. Number 3. The lip bite. Not to get too gaudy or overt with it, let's just say that this super transparent signal does happen in real life. On the other hand, someone biting their lip could possibly look like they're just deep in thought. She has to be facing you while biting her lip for it to mean a good thing for you. Number 2. Bright and rosy cheeks. It's so simple and so commonplace in cute love stories that you might not even be looking out for this sort of stuff. It still counts though, trust us. A person blushing when you talk to them most likely means a good thing for you. Females more prone to embarrassment and nervousness might be more likely to blush than someone who isn't, and probably won't talk a lot. So if they don't blush, don't sweat it. That doesn't mean they aren't into you. Number 1. Mirroring your behavior. This goes for everyone. To see if someone is interested in your conversation and interested in you, consciously move your hand, tilt your head, or make some sort of movement in the middle of your speaking. If they're absorbed in your words and presence, they probably will mirror that movement. This serves as their body's way of trying to touch you when, well, they can't touch you.